Welcome back to Cigar Time, the world's leading TV show all about cigars.
Yay.
And this date in history.
And this date in history. And since it's been a while since we've introduced the panel to everyone, I think it's time to go around the table here and let everybody introduce themselves. Because it's, like I say, it's been a while and you may have forgotten who we all are. So why don't we start with ladies first?
Oh, I introduced myself? I introduced me. He always introduces us.
I forgot who I was.
I'm Miss T, or Tia. Hi, Hot Tea.
Where do you work, T?
Oh, the Reading store.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
Anything else? You want to know a little bit about me?
You might want to push the microphone a little closer
It
to you.
is very close.
Okay. Well, he's not complaining, so I guess
No,
it's
he's
okay.
not. Okay.
Can you hear, audience? Okay, good.
And I love to smoke cigars.
Very nice.
And we all love you.
Thank you.
For it.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Rob. I like long walks on the beach, horseback riding.
And
Really?
corporate,
Like-
Skinny skis.
And pina coladas.
Bullfights on acid.
and corporate life.
Oh.
On the right here,
I'm Paul, sometimes not so affectionately known as Paul in the Fields.
I'll say.
Or the factory.
We're in the factory, and I occasionally work in the freehold store, and when I'm not out in the fields.
They call that work. What you do is called work.
Only when I sell a lot of cigars.
Yeah.
That's not work. That's a labor of love.
Yeah, no
Well,
kidding.
that's true.
Okay. And
I'm Tony.
Philly, from North Philly,
Are you talking to me?
Talking to
Tony,
me.
Montana.
I'm Scott. I work up in Colmar. Nobody knows where Colmar is.
No.
No clue.
It's near Lansdale.
That it's that other.
I just say
Hatfield,
309.
Montgomeryville.
Colmar
McCoy.
is something near Fredonia.
It's a post office
The post
and
office.
a Yum Yum donut.
It's by Pachuca.
Oh,
It's right up the road from Yum Yum.
it is.
Right up the road from Yum Yum. So
I know,
stop
okay.
and have a donut, then bring some for the crew, and then go have a smoke in Colmar.
Okay.
It's on Route 309. Okay, and I'm your evocular host, Art. They also call me, what do they call me? Wait for
The
dinner.
Ash
I
Man.
know, I know, the Ash Man. Okay. And the lovely Miss Tia will introduce our cigar for today.
Okay, our cigar today is the Diamond Crown Natural. The wrapper is Connecticut. I always want to say the
almost said
filler
filter.
first. Yeah, the binder is Dominican, and the filler is actually 5 different fillers from the Caribbean Basin
Caribbean.
and Central America. What's the Caribbean Basin mean?
Caribbean.
No, it can be pronounced either way. I've
Caribbean.
heard it pronounced
Caribbean
both ways.
Basin, Caribbean Basin. What
it's
does
a-
that
And
mean?
it's a Caribbean.
It's like just in that
They,
area.
no, they have this big bowl.
Bowls of
It's a
basin.
big
And they throw a bunch of tobacco in it, and then they
Okay.
pick 5
So you
different
toss salad.
ones out.
Moving on. It has 11 different sizes, which are all the sizes. It comes in every single cigar size.
A lot of them.
A lot of them, just about every single one. And the flavor profile, which is my favorite, is subtle sweet with creamy flavor. It has lots and lots of creamy flavor. I think this one does. And it was distributed in the early 1990s, and it is still one of the most popular cigars out there. It is made by Fuente for J.C. Newman. And it's mild to medium body, and like I said, it's just a very popular cigar. One of the best coming out of the Dominican Republic right now.
So
Very
there's
nice.
11
Thank you.
different sizes.
11,
But
I
would
know.
you-
I just want to try all the
I could smoke
sizes.
this cigar all day and not smoke the same size twice.
That's true.
Correct.
But you know what? They are all 54 ring gauge.
Really?
All
Yeah,
of them.
all of them.
Everyone's 54 ring gauge.
This cigar, just so everybody realizes, is not your, 3 times a day, everyday cigar. This
No.
is a uber premium
Premium.
cigar
Yeah.
with a somewhat price to go along with it. But if you like really top-end premium quality cigars, this will address your
This would be a
needs.
great Father's Day gift. Father's Day is coming up, June 15th.
That is true. That's a
Come
good
on
point.
down and
Yeah.
grab a Diamond Crown for your
And
dad.
Scott, why are we doing Diamond Crown today?
Because?
Oh, because you said we should smoke this cigar.
Okay.
Because because we're promoting the Diamond Crown and other Newman cigars all month long. We've got we're doing a special if you buy 4. Well, for the first 25 customers in each store, you buy 4 of any of the Newman products, which are the Diamond Crown, the Julius Caesar, the Maximus, Brickhouse, and La Perle de Mar.
Yep.
And you get a gift certificate for Newman's Connoisseurs Club, which entitles you to a whole bunch of stuff plus a T-shirt and 4 more cigars
Yeah, for free.
for Well, for buying 4
Well,
cigars.
for buying 4 cigars.
Yep, and that's
yeah.
all month long. Well,
So we
until
actually
run
have
out
to
of-
count the customers.
until we run out of the certificates.
Don't you also get a chance to win a trip somewhere or other?
Ho, ho, ho.
If you want.
Yeah, to Florida
Yeah,
To Tampa.
actually to Tampa,
Tampa,
Florida.
Florida,
Yeah,
yeah.
in
Where
November.
you guys were.
in November.
To Cigar
Yeah.
and to Ybor, I think, as well.
Exactly.
Well, you can go to Ybor, yeah.
Well,
I think
yeah,
I think
it's
there's a
with,
day.
it's with Newman.
We're going to have
Yeah.
at least 4 or 5 winners, so you have a great shot at this. It'll be a
wanna play.
factory tour led by the Newman brothers, Bobby and Eric. We've done it. It's a wonderful, wonderful time.
It is.
Everything is done first rate.
I need to
You're
go
flown down, airfare, room, everything's included. So
Oh, you also go to a hockey game.
you go to a hockey game
Yeah,
and
Tampa
you're
Bay
in the
Lightning
Diamond
hockey game,
Crown
yeah.
private lounge.
Yeah, it was cool.
What an experience that is.
That's a lot of fun.
On the level of the Diamond Crown private lounge is about, I don't know, 100 different offerings of food from various countries.
yeah, yeah, it
It's
was
an
awesome.
unbelievable experience.
Scott, did you go?
Been to Tampa.
Rubbing it in.
Well, some of us have gone.
Yes.
Except Scott
Yeah, yeah.
And
and Portia.
poor Tia.
I have a funny feeling that a trip to Tampa may, they want our customers to be accompanied by some of the
That's true.
management.
That's true.
Oh, maybe I'll get to go.
Yeah, me too.
Well, depending,
I don't think
depending on how well I'm being treated here, I mean, you know, I could be influenced. You know, get up.
Comes out.
Wow, this cigar puts out a
Well,
lot
I'm
of
out of
smoke.
this game.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does
it
put out a
does.
lot of smoke.
A lot of
My
smoke
Lord.
in this
A
cigar.
plethora. You know, that's our
A
word
very
here.
good word for the day.
That's our
plethora.
word
Nice.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I said subtle too. That
So
was-
I think,
Did you also notice how densely packed with tobacco this cigar is, but it still draws great?
Yes. Incredible.
so firm, so full, so firmly packed. All right, anyway. Paul is,
He's doing
what,
something.
what are you going to hallucinate or about today?
Before we do that,
Uh-oh, before? We have a before?
while the camera's on, Paul, Tia, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you hand me that folder? I have all my event notes in it.
Oh,
All right.
Really?
Go ahead.
Wow.
Ah, I was
Yeah,
really
really.
going for it. Oh, okay.
uh-oh.
Well, actually, because we're talking about a cigar that's made by Fuente for Newman, it led me to a thought about companies that make cigars for other companies, of which there are many, but particularly I was thinking about companies that maybe you haven't heard of that make cigars you have heard of. And we can start right at the top of the industry. The biggest there is a company called Altadis. You may or may not have heard of Altadis or Altadis, depending on what mood you're in today. That's a company that used to be called, or at least part of it used to be called Consolidated Cigar. Consolidated merged with the government tobacco monopoly in France called CIDA and the government tobacco monopoly in Spain called Tabacalera. And all of that mixed together became by far the largest cigar company in the world, and that's now called Altadis. None of which you might know, but here's what you probably do know. Some of the many, many brands they make include Romeo and Juliet, Monte Cristo, H. Upmann, San Luis Rey, and Juan Lopez, and many, many more. I don't know.
Trinidad.
Trinidad. Oh, thank you.
Onyx.
Oh yeah.
Onyx.
Onyx.
Don Diego.
Nobody's heard about it.
Henry Clay.
Henry Clay.
Nice.
The list goes
It
on.
does.
That-
It's very
that-
long.
pull that right in for this
Henry
guy.
Clay, yeah.
That was good.
I like
The,
that.
the oldest, I believe Henry Clay, obviously originated in Cuba, but I believe that is the oldest cigar brand that exists today. Henry Clay.
Continuous.
Continuous.
Yes.
Yes.
The only older brand is Bach, and that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, Bach's gone. Long
He's
gone.
been dead a while.
Max,
Yeah,
Uncle
the
Max would
Beethoven.
remember that one.
He was there when Bach rolled his first cigar.
I believe he was.
If we moved on down the list, here's another company that you might or might not have heard of. It's the next biggest player in the market. It's called General Cigar. Some of you might have heard of it because we're just now at the end. We just finished off our General Cigar month at Cigar Cigars.
You are correct, sir.
But General Cigar also has some brands that you probably know well, like La Gloria Cubana, like Punch, like Hoyo de Monterrey, They make the El Rey del Mundo line. They make Macanudo. You guys want to throw in
Excalibur, part of it.
CAO.
CAO.
CAO, yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Cohiba.
We reviewed
Cohibas,
the
that's right.
Yeah, Cohiba. We reviewed the CAO
We did part of
Heatwave
this?
last week.
Bolivar?
Yeah, we did.
Bolivar?
Boulevard.
Bolivar.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really know about Boulevard.
I know, it's a shame. Too.
I
It's a
know,
great
isn't
cigar.
Very,
it?
very good
It is
It's a
a
great
good
cigar, but
Yes, it
it's,
is.
it's an old Cuban
I try to
brand.
always point people into
the
that
Cuban ones are good.
direction.
The Cuban ones are fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's strong.
But the Dominican ones are good too.
Yeah, they are.
I never had a Cuban.
You don't like them?
No, they're not. They're not good.
Get out of here, Scott.
Yes,
Get
they
outta
are.
here.
They're good.
Cubans. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
Next on the list, well, you've heard of this company, but they make cigars for other people too. You've heard of Fuente, of course, Arturo Fuente, and they make the whole galaxy of Fuente cigars, but they also make the Ashton line for
Yeah,
Ashton.
It's true.
And a small number of other cigars for a few other companies.
And of course, the Diamond Crown.
The Diamond Crown. Yep.
And Costa Rey.
They make the Cuesta
Cuesta
Rey,
Rey.
also for Newman.
Is that line diminishing?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I like
Yeah,
that
as you
cigar.
smoke it, it gets smaller and smaller.
Very good. Very good. Read some more notes.
Moving along.
Somebody you might not have heard of, and he's actually one of the biggest and most important players in the entire cigar and tobacco industry, is a guy by the name of Nestor Plasencia. He is first and foremost a tobacco grower, and in fact, I might have mentioned this once before, on his plantations he grows more tobacco than the entire country of Cuba.
Wow.
That's a lot of tobacco.
He's in every tobacco growing country you can think of with his own operations. But he also makes lots of cigars. Some of them are under his own name, but he also makes some cigars for Rocky Patel. He makes cigars for a company called Indian Head. He makes the brand called Avilio. He makes the Maria Mancini cigars that you might have heard of. Quietly behind the scenes, he's got his finger in a lot of cigars. Similar story, slightly smaller company is a company called Tabacalera Tropical. They, in Nicaragua, primarily in Nicaragua, became enormous growers of tobacco. Some people in the industry refer to this as the Pizza Man Company because the guy who founded the company founded it with a fortune that he made by launching the largest pizza delivery company in Spain, kind of the equivalent of Domino's, and went public and made an enormous amount of money, and then for some reason left Spain, went to Nicaragua, and started buying up plantation land and growing tobacco. But they also make cigars, and they make quite a few cigars. How many of them would you have heard of? Probably the most famous one that they make these days is the Illusione cigar.
Right. Fantastic cigar.
A
That is
a
a
really
fantastic
excellent boutique type of cigar, but made by them.
John Pepin.
Well,
started
that
with
yeah, in
That was
fact,
right, yeah.
that was going to be next on my
Okay.
list. I wanted to talk about my father's cigar
Okay.
company, which you may or may not have heard of, but that's the company of Pepin Garcia and his son.
And daughter.
And daughter.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
I can't forget her.
Don't forget the women.
Pepin Garcia used to be the master blender for Tabacalera Tropical. And he left there for a couple of reasons, but the reason that I found most interesting is Tabacalera Tropical had so much tobacco that he could create a fantastic cigar. And as they worked their way through the different kinds of tobacco that they had, every cigar he made would change as soon as he made it. He'd put out a batch of something, and immediately they would start using some other tobacco that they had a whole lot of and wanted to get rid of. So the cigar would change. So he decided to go off and take his spectacular blending capabilities off on his own. And that company now makes the Pepin Garcia cigars, which you probably know and are named for him. The My Father brand but he also makes the Flor de Antillas, which we've talked about here. He makes the Tatuaje cigars for Pete Johnson.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He makes several lines of cigars for Ashton. He makes all of the La Aroma de Cuba cigars now, and he makes the San Cristobal line for Ashton as well. So he's got his fingers in all sorts of stuff.
If I could just chime in for just a moment. In all this Papin mystique originated just barely, let's see, what is it, 14? He was in our Horsham store in the fall of 2003, brought in by the management at Tropical. At that point, he was just their blender and one of their rollers. Didn't speak any English, and he made some sample cigars for us. We called it the El Borrasco Fuego, the Firestorm, and we proceeded to buy a lot of them and, you know, liquidate them. But in just barely a little over 10 years, he's evolved into a household name and a very quality name in our industry. Go ahead, Paul.
One of the true boutique cigar manufacturers.
Exactly.
The next company, again, this is a company you have not heard of. It's called Raíces Cubanos. It's a company in Honduras. They also have been long in the tobacco growing business. They've also been making cigars for a long time, but they have only in this past 6 months introduced a cigar with their own name on it. What really put them on the map is that they make most of the best cigars that Alec Bradley sells, including the Tempest and the Prensado and the Black Market and so on. So right now there is a cigar that they produce called Raíces Cubanos.
Good cigar too.
And that is an excellent cigar. But these are people that really know their stuff. They're a special group. And once again, they make cigars that you've heard of even if you haven't heard of them. The last company I want to mention for this little segment is the largest company that makes cigars but only make their own cigars. They don't make anything else for anybody else. Anybody have a guess who that would be?
Padron.
Sonia.
Padron.
Damn.
Sonia Henry. Padron it is, and they are actually not only one of the biggest independent companies in the industry, the Padron line is currently the best-selling single brand of premium cigars in America.
I can believe that.
And
Deservedly so. They're
and
great
they
cigars.
do it all without
Yeah.
doing any private labeling or sub-branding for anybody else.
It's
Or any
so
sales
simple.
force.
It's just
They have no sales
the
force.
box
That's
is
amazing.
simple. The band is. It's just so simple.
It's elegant.
It's all
Yes.
about the cigar.
Very elegant.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, they're not big into the
No.
marketing. It just
Because I guess it markets itself.
It does.
sure does.
What does
Great
Raíces
cigar.
mean? I know what Cubano means, but
Sort of like heritage.
oh, okay.
It means Cuban heritage.
Cuban heritage,
And
okay, I got it.
Romay Endemano, who's the founder
Right,
of that
right.
company, the old man of the business, was a Cuban tabacalero
yeah,
before he came
Very
over to
interesting.
Honduras. He's a great guy. I've spent time with him when he first started producing cigars instead of just growing tobacco. I spent some time with him in Honduras, stayed at his house. His wife is a phenomenal cook, and they're just really good people.
One day we're going to have Uncle Max on to talk about his time with someone who goes way, way back in the tobacco business, Sir Walter Raleigh. Because, you know, Max was there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Look
Absolutely.
at
And he
Scott's
still has
cigar.
it in a can.
I think
It's
he's
doing one of those what we were talking about the last episode, where the wrapper's burning faster than the filler. Yeah. See how hard that
Stupid
is.
cigar.
Wow.
I guess we
Wow.
know how his rating's going to come out.
I just wanted to point that out.
It's not a
Thank
J,
The other
JC
thing, the
old
last
man
thing I
month.
wanted to mention in this topic for today is you might have noticed that a lot of the brands that I mentioned that some of these companies make seem to be Cuban brands. Or at least they were Cuban brands, they are Cuban brands. And next week we're going to talk about how it comes to be that you can have a Monte Cristo that's Cuban and a Monte Cristo that's not Cuban, how did that all evolve, and what does it mean for us as smokers?
With the La Perla del Mar.
That'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the La Perla del Mar.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's time now for us to discuss the Diamond Crown and get everybody's comments on it.
I'll go first.
We'll start with ladies first.
Okay. Love this cigar. I've loved it since I first had it, not in the early 1990s, but, you know, when I started smoking, I think back in 2007. So this has always been one of my top. I love the construction. The band is gorgeous. Yeah, band is gorgeous. And you really get that sweet flavor and the creaminess. I don't think it's mild. I totally go medium on this one. Just a straight medium smoke.
Really?
Yeah, maybe because it's giving me all that smoke, you know.
It is a lot of smoke.
Yeah,
It does put out a lot of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful cigar. It's very creamy. It's mild, smooth. It's a nice, very nice cigar. I like the cigar a lot, but it's not my favorite cigar they make. But
Okay.
it's very good.
What's your favorite cigar?
Paul?
Mike?
I'll tell you later.
Well, I hate to say it, but if I didn't see all this smoke coming out of my mouth, I wouldn't be sure I was actually smoking the cigar. I just don't find enough flavor.
It's
in
not
this at all.
it's not enough oomph for you.
It's not enough. It's not oomph at all.
Yeah, well, it's not-
At least
it's not-
that's. I mean, there are mild cigars
Yeah.
that I like. This isn't one of them.
Okay. Forget that sponsor.
Yeah.
Scott?
Well, first I wanted to, we introduced a few shows ago, we have the our flavor wheel, and this shows you where the flavors fall. We've got the creamy, some of the caramel, and also I believe the earthy. Now, for me, it's an expensive cigar. I think I agree with other people. It's creamy, it is smooth. I don't think it has I don't think it has a lot of flavor. It's just not one of my favorite cigars. It's just okay. But when you get into how much the cigar costs or what you're getting, I'm not going to get a high rating from me.
It has a beautiful Connecticut wrapper.
It's like, I don't know what to say. Or it's like I'm choking right now.
Sorry?
I can feel Bobby's
Yeah.
hot poker up my butt right now.
Nice visual.
Hey!
That is just wrong on many levels.
Yeah.
The difficulty with this cigar, although it is beautifully constructed,
I'll give it that.
a lot of smoke, draws easy, has
Yeah.
a creamy taste to it and everything. For a power smoker, someone who likes a full body, full taste cigar, this isn't going to do it for you. But somebody who likes a premium, milder cigar, this is where it's at. So with that, I think we ought to give our ratings. I'm almost afraid to start with anybody.
Start with me.
All right, we'll start with Tia.
Remember, this is one of my top faves. Well, it wasn't in my 5, it was like 6, but 4.75.
Really?
I've always liked this since
Wow.
2007.
Okay, well that's why they make
It's
vanilla
a-
and chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good cigar. I mean, don't get me wrong, but because of the price,
I think it was like
I can't
$11
give.
for
I
one
give
of
it a
these.
4, straight 4.
Ooh,
Paul?
that's good.
It's a good rating. But
I was going to say 3.5, but because of the construction, the very apparent quality of the cigar, I'll go with a 3.75.
Blah, 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 blah. If it doesn't taste good, I'll give it a 3.5.
Oh my God.
Not good.
I'm glad I gave
Blah,
it a
blah,
high.
blah, blah,
Amateurs.
blah.
Who cares about all that? If it tastes good, if
Amateurs.
it doesn't taste good. As long as it has a good draw. All the rest is a crap.
Take the.
It tastes like that.
Like
Doesn't taste like
it
that.
tastes like
No, it
paper?
tastes like that if you rolled it up. No.
Yeah, exactly. Construction.
Well, I think a lot of people are penalizing this
fun.
cigar, and rightly so, because of the price. This isn't, 3 for $1.
Nothing was I buying,
The
but
price is up there. It is, to my taste, I happen to like the taste. I like some of their, darker and more fuller-bodied cigars better, but if you want a premium, gorgeous cigar that draws nice, puts out a lot of smoke, has a decent taste, although not full-bodied taste, it's not a bad cigar. I give it a 4 1/4.
there you go.
Do the math.
Did everybody give it a rate?
Yeah.
All right, because of Tia's 4.75 and
Yeah.
your 3.5, it comes out to 3.9 2/3.
That's not bad.
No, 4.9 2/3. That's
No.
not bad.
No.
Can't be 4.
Can't be
4.9.
about
My
4.
rating was 4.75.
See?
And I gave it 4 1/4.
Yeah.
So
That
how
has a
can
way
it
of-
be 4.9?
3.9.
No, no,
4.09.
4.09
Oh,
oh,
two-thirds.
oh, no.
listen, come
I'm
on.
so shell-shocked from all this conversation about it. And in him especially. Wow.
Hey,
Maybe that's why you didn't
what
go
am I
to
gonna
the
do? Lie?
factory.
Yeah, really.
What's your next cigar?
If you have
Swisher Sweet?
DVR, pause it right on Art's face.
I can't wait to talk about what happened.
We do have other events coming up with this great
Yeah, you're-
company.
Okay.
You're so used to
Not
smoking
in
those
Colmar,
Dutch Masters that when you stick a good cigar in your mouth, you don't know what the hell's going
He has
on.
the he has the palate of a billy goat.
Yeah, whatever.
Are you allowed to
Blah,
say
blah, blah.
hell?
I like what I like. I don't like what I don't like.
I hear
All
you.
right. Well, we'll get to this day in history. Don't worry, Rob.
You sound like Popeye.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this Thursday, we are having a Diamond Crown experience in Fraser from 11 to 3, and then in our Glenmore store 4 to 8. Bear with me.
What's the date?
We got it's this Thursday, the 5th. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on this week. The following day, Friday, we have the same event going on here in Horsham from 12 to 3, then up in Colmar from 5 to 8, and then in tomorrow or Saturday in Oxford Valley. You have to wait for the email for the time because I don't have it on here. Probably 11 to 3, 11 to 4.
Yeah, something like that. Just show up and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. Just go, enjoy, smoke, take advantage of whatever the deals and freebies and just
Definitely
go for the
freebies.
experience and have a good time. That's,
We do have 2 Diamond Crown lounges also.
yeah, one in Ludwig and one in
One in Phoenixville.
Phoenixville. That's
Yeah.
right.
When you have with these events, you have I mean, you can win the gift certificate. You also
Trips to Tampa.
Trips to
Don't
Tampa.
underestimate that.
That's right.
and the you have an opportunity to win a leather chair.
Yes.
Leather chair.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
$1,500 chair.
I was
Yeah.
a customer.
Exactly.
Or
and,
what about those stadium seats?
I was getting to that, and also the stadium seats,
Wow.
and the coffee mugs and other kind of cool stuff.
Well, this day in history, we get to say goodbye.
I was about to say, is it that time?
This is
already?
going to be a very short segment on
Well,
this
I
day in
think there's
history.
one
I
thing
think
that
DeSoto did something.
supersedes all others.
What's that?
In 1946, the bikini was
That was
introduced
important.
to the world.
Ah, you
Really
know.
nice.
Oh, you-
And for that, I am eternally grateful.
Also, in 1539, Hernando de Soto claimed Florida for Spain.
You know, that's really cool. And he was looking for the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
And who would
that's
imagine
right.
that Florida would wind up being
The
Right.
Fountain
an
of Youth.
elephant graveyard for
And do you
old
know
for
what?
old
Do you,
people.
do you know? Do you know? Do you know where he landed in
Ironic.
Florida? Special bonus points.
Wait, where he
Clearwater for the
landed?
Phillies,
No, St. Augustine.
was he?
Yeah, that's where the Fountain of Youth is.
Okay.
Anything else to
I
say in
got
history?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
so those old people are
sorry.
going
Yeah.
there.
June 3rd, in 1944, the SS Harriet Tubman was launched. It's a Liberty ship. It was actually the first ship to be named after a black woman. Pretty cool.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then it got totaled in 1972.
In 1888, Casey at the Bat, the poem, was
Ah,
written
Mighty
by,
Casey has
Casey.
struck
by
out.
Ernest Thayer. Was published.
I
Also,
don't-
wait a second. Also,
Quickly.
Lou Gehrig in 1932 was the first
Yeah.
baseball player to hit 4 home runs,
In one
consecutive
game.
home runs.
Yeah.
1932.
Well, sports
Good for him.
fans, it's
One
time
more,
to.
one more.
No, it's time to say goodbye.
Yes,
Save
I
it
can
for
actually
next week.
say goodbye.
Chuck Berry.
Smoke often and smoke happy.
Hi, Mom. Life's too short to smoke cheap cigars.
I'm just gonna get it out.
Why?
Smoke sweet. Hi, Dad.
Smoke sweet.
Smoke sweet.
Ciao for now, everybody.
You don't like smoke sweet?
What's that mean?
I'm smoking sweet.
As
Sweet,
always,
smoking.
on behalf of all of us at Cigar Cigars,
Smoke sour.
by the way, the website is cccigars.com.
good
We
to know.
thank you very, very much for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday night, and have an enjoyable evening. Thank you.